Hello and welcome to this episode of Connecting. And today we are going to see how people connect through their heart line. So where is the heart line? I'm sure you already know it, but I'm still going to tell you. As you can see on the illustration, the heart line is the one that is just under the fingers. And we want this line to be long, and the best line to have is one that actually reaches the pad of flesh under the mount of Jupiter, which is the index finger. So let's look at our first pair. And the first pair is a couple. And the first picture that you see is the husband, and the second one is the wife. And you can see on the husband's picture that the line is very, very long. It actually reaches Jupiter. And it shows somebody who is very idealistic in the way he loves. But there is a little problem, there's a little break in it. And the break is around in the 30s, I would say. And this break shows that he may suffer from a broken heart sometimes in his life. Now, if we look at the wife's hand, we can see that the line is a lot shorter. Like it just reaches the limit of the mount of Jupiter, but the place where it reaches, it shows that the person is more into like an exchange of energy. Yes, I love you, but you have to love me too. Usually they like social thing. They like having a nice house, having a nice car, and all these things that are really showing status. And so this is the kind of hotline she has. So as you can see, husband, very idealistic, and the wife with a shorter hotline. Unfortunately, it didn't last. They got married, and within 2 years, she left him. And it took some time for him to recover, but he never completely recovered. She left him, he was in his early 30s, which is the time of the break, and he never recovered. He has had other relationships in his life, but he still needs to heal from it. Eventually, I believe he can, but right now it's still hard, even though he has already had 2 or 3 relationships after this woman. So this is what happened in our first case. Now, let's look at our second case. So again, we have the husband on the first picture and the wife on the second picture. And as you can see, the husband has a very, very long heart line. So this means that he has this big heart. He's ready to love. But the problem is that the line is going down. It's going towards the headline. So the heart is supposed to feel and the head is supposed to think. But when the heart is actually dipping towards the head, it makes you more cautious. It makes you doubt people. So yes, you love, but you have so many expectations. You want people to be a certain way that you are always disappointed. Now, the second picture is the wife. As you can see, the line is going up. It's not as long as the husband's line, but it's going up. It's more realistic and it's more ready to forgive. And this is what happened in their relationship. He was the one who always was disappointed, but he always had this really big heart. And she was the one with also a big heart, but less expectation and more of an ability to forgive. And I'm happy to say that they are still married, and it has been about 23 years. And as far as I know, they're okay together. So now let's look at our third case. And again, the male is the first picture and the female is the second one. And as you can see on the male's hand, the hot line is short. It's short and straight. And the place where it starts, or it ends, depending on which way you see it, shows that this man is very much focused on physical things. It's on the body, on sex, on food, on comfort. And this is what happens when you have this kind of heart line. Now, if you look at her heart line, and you can see that it is a very long and loving heart line. At the same time, you can see that it has a few breaks here and there. So it's not somebody who was very lucky in love. She actually had a lot of relationships and many of them didn't work. But did they stay together? No. Unfortunately, it didn't work because he was much more focused on the physical things. It was more like sex, and this was a reason why he was in a relationship. And she was more into, okay, let's have a love that is going to last. But her heart line was actually suffering a lot. So I'm sorry to say they stayed for about 5 years together. They never married, and eventually they parted and they went their different ways. So this shows you what can happen with different heart lines and when two heart lines try to connect. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I do hope you are going to connect with me for our next episode of Connecting.